Hey everybody, welcome to Blockchain Chat. If it is Wednesday, you know it is Blockchain Day. So I'm going to take a couple minutes here, get us up on Facebook. My hair is looking cray today, but you know what? We're still going to go with it. Anyway, so just give me a couple of minutes, get us up on Facebook. We have a great show planned for today. We are going to be talking about three different articles that I've come across. One is in regards to blockchain and interoperability and a new system that's coming about. The second one is about blockchain in the box. It's something that Deloitte is they have a program around that, and it's an educational program. And then the third thing that we have to talk about is a real estate project that I found that I think will be pretty interesting. So again, I'm going to get us on Facebook, get us started. Give me a couple of minutes in order to do this. So okay. And that is about to go live. If you are not a part of Black Blockchain Consultants, welcome. If this is your first time here, there are a couple of things that we do here. Number one is we focus on blockchain jobs, helping people get blockchain jobs if that is something you want to do, or you want to learn how to add blockchain to your career, we do that. The second thing is blockchain businesses. So if you want to start a business, or if you want to become a part of our business, Blockchain Consortium International, we have some excellent opportunities with regards to teaching blockchain, as well as doing some work within blockchain. So you can check that out. The third is investing in the blockchain. If you want to become a better investor in blockchain projects, we talk about that. And the fourth is always about building generational wealth. So if you want to learn more about blockchain, Black Blockchain Consultants, you can come to blackblockchainconsultants.com. If you want to be a member, we'd love to have you. And that is at blackblockchainconsultants.com. And if you want to take any of our classes, we have our Blockchain 101 class. We have our supply chain class that just dropped. We have everything from healthcare to cybersecurity and blockchain to how to build a six-figure blockchain business, all sorts of stuff. You can come and join us at Black Blockchain Consultants and click on the courses tab, and it will take you to all of that. The final thing is we are very close to signing the contract for February 16th and 17th, 2020. We're going to have our annual conference in Atlanta. It is going to be great. We're going to tokenize an asset. That's just a fancy term for we're going to take a piece of Black art and we are going to put it on the blockchain, and then we'll all be able to purchase a piece of that Black art. And this is how companies are going to be funded in the future, through tokenization of assets. We want to be on the cutting edge of that. So we're going to have a live demonstration of that on February 16th. And then February 17th is President's Day. It's a Monday. We already have a confirmation from Krista McFarlane, who is the CEO of Patientory. She is a Black woman. She's one of the biggest blockchain influencers out there, not just Black, but just overall. And she raised, I think, $20 million. She is going to be one of our keynote speakers. We are going to have a fun-filled time. So put that on your calendar now, February 16th and 17th, 2020, to be with us in Atlanta. Final thing is, I think it's going to be in the middle of November, we are having our 21st Century Business Fundraising Virtual Conference. And it's going to include things about the Opportunity Zones, the Jobs Act that President Obama signed, and tokenization of assets, crowdfunding, and how we as Black people can raise money. So a lot of the stuff that's happening today is going to be enhanced by the blockchain. And we just want you to be on the lookout for that. It'll be the middle part of November. So, you know, that's coming up as well. Stay tuned with regards to your emails because we will have all of that. Okay, so Sunday announcements are over. Thank you so much. Put in the chat, hello, tell me where you're from. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And you know me, if you want to be on the panel, just raise your hand. I see Eric here and Lorna and Vernon. Thank you so much for being here. If any of you want to be on the panel, just raise your hand, let me know, and I will make you a panelist. So let's take a look at some, here we go, here. Let me see. You know, Zoom is a little crazy, but there we go. Alrighty then, so I told you I had 3 articles for us to review tonight, and it is a holiday weekend, so tonight may be a little bit shorter as well in terms of our blockchain chat. But I wanted to share with you 3 articles that I thought you might find interesting as you are going through your blockchain journey. The first is about blockchain in a box. It was started by Deloitte, and it's used to demonstrate uses. So this is a very short article that was written about it. You'll let me know in the comments how impressive you think this is. So blockchain is one of those technologies that the community can't get its head around. Deloitte's Linda, can't say the last name, told ClickZ. So the intention with blockchain in a box is to make blockchain-enabled use cases more visible. So this article is going to talk about what they're doing and what blockchain in a box is. So she talks about blockchain could win the award for most hype buzzword. So consulting firm Deloitte has introduced a blockchain in a box to help marketers and others undertake a more visible demonstration of the technology. Packaged inside a portable shipping container, the BIAB provides 3 screens from 3 embedded laptops, networking cables, and 4 rectangular networking interfaces for the nodes. A node is a communication point in a blockchain from which information about the transaction is conveyed. So for those of you who don't know, to be a little bit, you know, less cryptic, a node is just computers, and it's the way that the blockchain transactions are shared across the network. So what they're saying here is that the demonstration kit is intended to be protocol independent, so it could work with Ethereum, Hyperledger, or other blockchain protocols. And you can see a little bit of the pictures here. Kind of looks like something from 1982, if you ask me. But if you're from Deloitte, you know, you want to show us what you're working with, let us know. Anyway, a blockchain is a network that provides a distributed ledger where each of the participants can immediately receive a copy of all transactions on the network, and where transactions can be approved by a consensus process that doesn't need a central authority. It has been widely hailed in some ambitious claims, such as reinventing the legal system or the financial system, although those claims have been brought down to earth. While its eventual role is still being determined, it is finding value in such uses as tracking financial transactions across borders, enabling self-fulfilling automated agreements, and verifying transactions in the often opaque world of digital advertising. Blockchain is one of those technologies that the community can't get its head around, so the intention with the BIAB is to make blockchain-enabled use cases more visible. This is what Deloitte is saying. Okay, I think this is a section where they talk about how it works. That visibility, however, is still very abstract. such as in smart contracts, one of the most promising uses of blockchains. In a smart contract, an agreement is expressed as code that can be digitally verified and fulfilled, such as an if-then conditional statement. If the digital ad is verified as being delivered and viewed on that website, then I guess the network releases the payment for the ad. So they're saying here in the BIAB's demonstration of a smart contract, a user sees the encryption of the data, the code where it is transported through the network, the code where it lands on the participating nodes, and the notification to the end user that the user's encryption key can be utilized to authenticate the results. The BIAB kit is designed to let users see the transaction data as it moves from one node to another. Other use cases that could similarly be demonstrated in this way include tracking the provenance of a product, such as premium chocolate beans origination in a farm in Peru, or the creation of blockchain-enabled decentralization applications or dApps. Okay, so what it sounds like they're doing here is they are giving people a visual representation of what's happening so that people, for example, can see a smart contract, transaction actually play out, or see other types of transactions play out in the system. So, you know, a lot of these top firms kind of have their things they're trying to do, whether it's Accenture, IBM, and now we see Deloitte here. They're all trying to figure out what their position is going to be in the blockchain economy. And you, if you want a job, for example, can figure out, hey, do I want to be more on the education side, implementation, strategy, etc. And you can decide what company you want to connect with based on what projects they have coming out. If you want to start your own business, for example, you can see where there are opportunities that no one's really addressing. The big boys don't really want to address it because they feel it's too small, and you can dominate a niche. So you kind of want to think about those things. And then within BBC, what we want people to do is start coming together, teaming together. Sorry, the lights are going off in my house. Come together, team together, and, you know, start businesses that could either eventually be sold or you could get a whole lot of cash from and a lot of cash flow from. But remember, these are long-term plays that we are doing here. And I just want to apologize in advance if my power goes out, guys. I'll try to come back. So looks like my lights are flickering. Okay, so any questions about article number 1 before we go to article number 2? If anybody has any questions in the chat, you can post them. Alrighty then, let's move then to article number 2. This is about interoperability. So this is the Constellation Network Science deal to provide solutions around interoperability between legacy infrastructure and emerging data technology. So this is a San Francisco-based company, and they signed a working contract with the Air Force. And it's part of the Air Force's SBIR program. SBIR stands for Small Business Innovation and Research, and that is how a lot of tech companies get their money in order to do the research needed to make big discoveries. And if you are into technology, for example, I've started writing, actually I have written an SBIR grant, so I take that back. I've written one for one of my clients. You know, there's a lot of money. A lot of people don't realize that some of the biggest technologies that have been invented, from the internet to to smartphone technology had government backing. So we always think that we, have to get all this money from venture capitalists. That's not true. What usually happens is the government funds the first portion of the business to get the new product to a point where venture capitalists would want to invest, for the rest of the duration of the company. So just something that you should, if you are into technology and you are a coder or you're starting that type of business, and you are looking at new technologies, then the SBIR program is something that you want to consider getting funding from. So that's my business plan hat for you guys. Okay. So let's see here. So this is the Air Force statement. They've partnered to streamline the SBIR research process in an attempt to speed up the experience, broaden the pool of intellectual applicants, and decrease bureaucratic overhead. It's a match at the right time with the right partner. This is from the VP at Constellation. He confirms the USAF, which is the Air Force, has a multitude of data sources like drones, planes, and satellites that need to be secured. Clean and consolidated data that can be queried instantly is a big need within defense apparatus. So this is a data play that they're trying to do here. Constellation's technology will help securely unlock traditionally siloed and non-accessible data and data sources. This is commonly referred to as multi-domain command and control at the Air Force. Multi-domain cross-service stakeholders are dispersed, disconnected, and complicated, and the data created by each domain is either non-accessible or requires significant manpower to handle data forensics, planning, and collection. Constellation will create a leap in the Air Force's current capabilities with the focus on the agile interoperability of both legacy and future data types. So for whatever reason, sometimes old data types can't easily merge in with new data types. So, this looks like this is something that the blockchain through Constellation's platform is looking to assist with. So it's a scalable and secure approach to big data processing while enabling the emerging of legacy system data with existing cloud infrastructure. As such, Constellation provides decentralized security not only to Air Force data pipelines with encryption, but also creates audit trails and a live overview of the status of any data source. So it seems like the Air Force is getting a lot of data from a lot of different places, and all of those data sources are siloed. And if you think about large companies, or if you think about with the supply chain, for example, you have all this data coming from different vendors that all of a sudden the raw ingredients go to a specific place to manufacture a candy bar or something like that. So we're seeing real life here how blockchain is bringing different data sources together while securing those data sources in a decentralized manner. And again, we see that the Air Force is putting money in order to get this technology tested on their within their agency. So Constellation is one of the unique technologies attempting to bridge the gap of real-world adoption of blockchain by enterprise and business use cases. More specifically, they say, while people aren't buying blockchain off the shelves, government organizations have an opportunity to drive innovation. The move by the US government to work with early stage businesses and early innovation shows a massive shift by the public sector to be leaders in revolutionizing existing infrastructures by adopting new technologies that protect consumers' privacy. while tackling futuristic visions of the connected world and joining the private sector in the $50 billion industry of big data. So now you have a $50 billion big data industry now merging with a multi-trillion-dollar blockchain industry. And this is going to affect every business type that's out there. Constellation is poised to become an influential player in this market. The recent attacks on centralized systems like Equifax, Visa, and the IRS underscore the need for a new approach in handling big data across enterprises and government. Every organization has big data needs and challenges. This is just the first of a series of in-depth partnerships with commercial and government entities to deliver fully integrated and productized blockchain solutions. So, interesting, right? We're starting to see some of the use cases that we studied. If you've been with me, since 2017, we started studying some of these use cases, and now you're seeing them come to pass. And, we thought, okay, we thought things would move faster, but they aren't. They're moving at the pace that they're moving. However, there's a lot of work that's being done, and you're starting to see that the government is putting money in because they're recognizing that they're behind the 8 ball with this. I don't know if you all remember, probably about a month ago, Eric and I looked at the, the government actually defining blockchain. So they're starting to put rules and regulations and even legislation in on the federal level to define what blockchain is. And all of this, now you're starting to see all of the reasons why this is happening. So I'm going to do one final article and then we will head out of here. Again, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat for me. And you also are more than welcome to come on the panel if you want to. If you want to talk to the people. I thought this one was fun. So this is a use case about real estate called Project Fred. And I thought this was pretty interesting here. So they are interviewing Heather Martell, who is the COO of Project Fred, to understand how the company is using blockchain to transform the real estate business and what the future of the industry holds. So the story behind Project Fred. One day, a neurosurgeon turned blockchain coder, a marketer, and a real estate broker walked into a coffee shop and started discussing how blockchain would soon be transforming the world, eliminating inefficiency and centralized data control. Well, we do that every week. Anyway, at the top of their list of complaints was a $100 million real estate portfolio in Ann Arbor that was struggling to be sold using traditional methods. The three brainstormed, drank gallons of espresso, and after 2 months of strategic research, intense blockchain coding, and blue sky thinking, Project Fred was born. While attempting to transact the $100 million portfolio, Fred team members came across several problems such as lack of liquidity, proof of funding, bank deadlines, broker circumvention, property valuation, property management, title transaction costs, and lack of transparency, which all made the transaction extremely complex. These problems led to the first conversations on how to increase transparency, validate funding, offer alternative purchase options, produce the highest possible capitalization rate. A capitalization rate or cap rate is just the amount of return on investment that someone gets. And create an open exchange market for fractional portions of commercial real estate. So Eric, I know this is right up your alley. So Fred is the solution. So basically, they have looked at a whole bunch of problems that is currently plaguing, and they started off small, which is great. They started off looking at one place, which is Ann Arbor, Michigan. And they looked at one use case, which was real estate and a real estate portfolio. And it wouldn't surprise me if these were mostly commercial buildings here. And they've said, you know, hey, what are the problems with this? Again, lack of liquidity, proof of funding, bank deadlines, broker circumvention, property valuation, property management, title transaction fees, and lack of transparency. So all of these things is making these real estate transactions extremely complex. And now their solution is they want to increase transparency, validate funding, offer alternative purchase options, produce the highest possible capitalization rate, and create an open exchange market for fractional portions of commercial real estate. So Fred has created the solution for that. So they are looking to revolutionize commercial real estate in 8 ways. Number 1 is ease of transaction through the smart contracts. They are going to eliminate the need for redundant and expensive paperwork. So identity security, Project Fred creates a security token offering, or STO, that provides completely secure fractional ownership investment vehicles. And then they talk about how Fred is able to use AML KYC compliance. AML is anti-money laundering, KYC is know your customer. So it validates every investor. And it also saves us time as investors because we don't have to revalidate ourselves every time. Once we're on, if they're setting it up this way, and I'm sure they are, once we're on the blockchain, then we're like automatically validated for other opportunities, I'm sure. Number 3 is the investor database. The Fred platform will house a substantial collection of verified investors waiting for the next investment opportunity on the Project Fred platform. Property owners and brokers will no longer need to send hundreds of emails hoping to find the right buyers. I can tell you, again, you all know my full-time business is writing business plans and helping businesses raise capital. Number 1 question I get, number 1 problem people have is finding people with money who would potentially want to invest in a project. So the fact that they're addressing this is interesting. And the blockchain would also verify those investors as well, because small business owners have to verify where they're getting the money from, and make sure that they want to accept money from that investor. So that's a huge, huge opportunity. Transaction document security is something else they're helping with. So smart contracts will be embedded on the Ethereum blockchain, making transactions immutable and permanently on record. Smart contract escrows. So they're doing automated escrow transactions, eliminating the potential for human error or lack of funds. Smart contracts will also execute transactions and remove the need for trust in a third-party system. You have an immutable ledger. Fred ensures that the data is stored on an immutable ledger that is forever traceable. You have your stablecoin payment option. So their smart contracts are designed using the PAX stablecoin, which is backed by the US dollar. This removes the risk of wire fraud, which amounts to over $1 billion a year. And then you have the Fred Exchange. Think the New York Stock Exchange means commercial real estate. So you're able to tokenize physical access on this direct digital exchange, providing a mass revenue opportunity for both Fred and its users. So they continue to talk here about Fred. So could you share, this is the question they're asking the COO, could you share a specific customer user that benefits from what you offer? What has your service done for them? So they talk about the benefits of using Project Fred. So it's about democratizing commercial real estate, by enabling people to buy shares of each property instead of the whole, or having to find their own investors. So they say here they're the Tinder of commercial real estate deals. Number two, they provide liquidity for REITs. A REIT is a real estate investment trust. So using Fred to sell a commercial property cuts down on legal fees, brokerage fees, and a lot of frustration. It's like Fundrise, making real estate available to the masses, but with more decentralization, with built-in liquidity and trading opportunities. So what they're saying here is a lot of times if you go in on these investments, they're very illiquid, meaning that once you get in them, you can't get out of them for a long time. So they're building an exchange where you could get in today and out tomorrow as you need to. And this is very, very helpful for us as a people. Number four, what other blockchain use cases in real estate are you excited about? And they're saying here there's a great deal of opportunity for innovation in multiple areas of commercial real estate. So they're tackling several areas of need for innovation, but there is a great opportunity, a great amount of opportunity for innovation in other areas. One simple yet important area that is needed is in the title workspace, and we've talked about that as a group. There is a need for all current title work to be uploaded onto the blockchain. This is a massive undertaking, but once completed, will never need to be reevaluated due to the immutability of the blockchain. And then they're asking, where will Project Fred be in 5 years? So they're saying it'll be home to millions of verified commercial real estate investors. The Project Fred platform will list over 1,000 new properties annually and will be the top trading platform for over 1 million tradable asset-backed tokens. Project Fred will employ over 250 developers, operations specialists, analysts, and consultants, and will donate 5% of all annual earnings to nonprofit that provides scholarships for tech development training for single parents. So I think that's a great social mission that they have. You see here that they are looking to, over time, employ a lot of people. So again, if you want a blockchain job or you're starting a blockchain business and you want to connect with a blockchain project, this could be one of them. Now, I don't know these people. I just read this article this morning and I thought it was very interesting. I like the concepts that they're talking about. We've seen these concepts before with other real estate companies. We see different use cases within real estate. There was a company we had on, a Chinese company that we had on about 6 weeks ago that are doing some things in Hong Kong and mainland China with regards to unused hotel room space. So we see a lot of different use cases within the real estate area. This Project Fred looks like it's tackling commercial real estate, but I'm sure there's a residential blockchain app as well. And we see tokenization of all sorts of assets. There's more than residential and commercial real estate as well. And eventually you may see even more silos happening within blockchain. So again, I thought that that was very interesting. And over time, as we're doing these blockchain chats and I start to see more use cases and projects and things like that, I like how that article was written. And I thought it was just very useful to see how people are taking blockchain, making it their own, and then explaining the benefits of what they're doing, to the community at large. So Vernon is saying here, I'm an affiliate with a company pioneering the voice over blockchain protocol for another use case. Well, that sounds interesting. So we should talk about that, Vernon. Maybe one day you want to come on blockchain chat with whomever, representatives from your company and talk about what you guys are doing, because we love to talk about blockchain in terms of all use cases. So do me a favor and send me an email, info@blackblockchainconsultants.com, and I will put you in touch with Anita, who is responsible for setting up those interviews on blockchain chat. So I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Told you I'd get you out early. Just had a couple of quick articles that we're going to talk about tonight. So we did that. I hope you learned something. I hope you're energized with regards to blockchain and thinking about your blockchain future. And if you are not a member of Black Blockchain Consultants, I hope part of your future is to join us. Become a member, blackblockchainconsultants.com. Definitely come to Atlanta, February 16th and 17th, 2020. We have our tokenization and crowdfunding in 21st century fundraising. That's going to be happening in November 2019. It's going to be a virtual conference, all-day virtual conference. We have various courses that you can take. That's at blackblockchainconsultants.com, and click on the courses tab. And that's it for me. So thank you so much for being here. Have a happy Labor Day weekend, and I will see you all next Wednesday. Take care.